Alrighty, Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia, and also welcome back to G'day Steelers Nation on Steel Curtain Network. For everyone out there, and also an audio platform, audio listeners out there, I'm wearing headphones today, and normally when I wear headphones, I'm not chilling out to crazy music or am I listening to Renegade, Buy Sticks and getting pumped for the season, although I'm pretty pumped for the Combine, the draft coming out very, very soon. I'm wearing these headphones because I have a special guest to the program. And you're also wondering why the Seahawks mentioned in my title and how can the Pittsburgh Steelers, copy the Seahawks way to winning championships. Well, I've got a guest coming on right now, a huge Seattle Seahawks fan, good bloke too, got his own channel out there called Wobblin Jaw Sports. You type that into YouTube. And I'm going to bring Sam on to talk about the Seahawks, talk about some of the National Rugby League here too that's going over to America next week, and also talk about the NFL game in Australia. So let's bring him on right now. What's going on, Sam? How are you?
See.
I'm
See. Come on. See.
I can't say that.
Yes. G'day, everyone. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm Wobblin Jaw Sports on another YouTube channel, and Mark and I, we've known each other for 3 or 4 years now, man, and I think this is my debut on the Steelers Nation, bro.
Yeah, it has been a long time, and I've been trying to. I've been stressing to my channel recently, like we've all got jobs, we do job stuff and life stuff and things like that. Audio podcast and Steelers podcast is fun. Doing your stuff is really fun too. You just forget time just flies and goes on. And then 1 minute you're doing a podcast on your show 3 years ago. 3 years later, Sam Darnold is winning championships for the Seattle Seahawks, and you guys win the Super Bowl. I firstly want to start with that, Sam. How does that make you feel as a fan? Because we haven't been there for a while. One of the last ones that I have to put in again, I probably did last time I had a podcast with you, but you need to have the upper hand. Last time the Steelers had this kind of success, it was 40 and 43. That's 17 years ago. The Steelers have not won a Super Bowl in a very long time. How does it feel being a Seahawks fan from Australia, knowing that Sam Darnold has that bounce back story and he wins you guys a championship? Number 2, I believe.
Yeah, personally, this franchise hasn't made it past the divisional round of a playoff since that infamous loss to the Patriots in that Super Bowl off the top of the dome. So we went as deep as we have in approximately 12 years or so. And personally, this season, I don't think I've ever been as invested into the Seahawks as I was this year. Like, before a ball was even kicked off, I was locked and loaded watching every single game I could, and to ride with it and to see the way that they would maneuver, change things around on the fly, and see how Coach Mike McDonald would coach this team and utilize his players, do plays off of the cuff as well, man. I'm so incredibly proud to be a Seahawks fan this year. I'm so proud of the boys. Congratulations to them again once more. And I'm probably jumping the gun here a little bit, but I think, despite the Sam Darnold conversation that we'll go into a little bit more deeper in just a moment, I think the MVP for the Seattle Seahawks is Mike McDonald. I think that this is his Super Bowl. The story about the 25-26 Seahawks, it's about Coach Mike McDonald.
You know what's very interesting? From all the other 31, actually 30 teams, because I don't count the Bengals because I can't stand the Bengals. The Bengals suck. But all for the other 30 teams, they're really getting into the NFL Combine. The draft is coming out very soon. It's crazy to me, each and every podcast I do, and we do Steelers news, all that kind of stuff. We talk about things, right, here on SCN and all over, how quickly the NFL moves on. On your side, though, however, Sam, are you enjoying this moment, winning the Super Bowl? Because I would be talking about it 24/7. If you won the Super Bowl, not only 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it feels like forgotten from other teams. We're moving forward to the Combine, getting ready for the draft. How are you feeling though? And by your team winning it, and you're holding that moment still?
I personally am, of course I am. But I'll tell you what, you're not wrong the Super Bowl happened 2 weeks ago now, and it has been forgotten. It is not getting spoken about it by anybody. But I assure you that if Kansas City Chiefs won this year's Super Bowl, we'd still be hearing about it, how great Patrick Mahomes and X, Y, and Z are part of that Chiefs kingdom, or Chiefs kingdom. So yeah, it's been kind of like, I don't even want to say disappointing, because nothing can bring me down, mate.
Yeah.
You know, like they're now a 2-time Super Bowl winning franchise. But to see some of the comments of they've had, you know, can someone please remind me about the run that these guys have had this regular season? And Mike McDonald came out and made his comment about how good he thought the Seahawks were this year and where they should be ranked in the greatest of all time teams. And to see how many people have clapped back at him that aren't wearing a Seahawks jersey, it's just you're just all salty. You're just all salty. And again, nothing can bring us down, man.
One of the best things I find from this run, I just find it, NFL, and as you know, sport goes so quick. We are getting ready now in Australia for the NRL, National Rugby League. And for all the American listeners out there, yes, there is a difference between rugby and rugby union. And I know that when the rugby league's going over to Las Vegas, how many different Americans will call it rugby union, Sam, do you think?
Every single one of them. Every single one of them.
Sometimes can't move past that. They're hosting it. You've got, maybe Dan Orlovsky or someone like that's going to be over there. And he's going to be commentating, or you have a random journalist from Las Vegas or LA, and they'll say, "Oh, the rugby's in town." I was like, no, there's a big difference between rugby union and rugby league. But I do find, yes, it's funny how we move so fast from one to the next. It's how sport goes, right? The NFL Combine is happening the last few days. There's highlights of linebackers, safeties, receivers, all that kind of stuff. But what the Seahawks did was quite impressive. They won the divisional round versus your rival San Fran 49ers. Then you beat the Rams 31-27, and then you beat the Patriots. And also you won the Super Bowl in Santa Clara.
Yes.
Yep.
That
to me would, if the Bengals hosted the Super Bowl and we beat them twice and beat them on the way to get
my
there,
God.
You won in their stadium. Number 2. So how does that feel?
Oh, it's something that we will never let the 49ers forget. It's something we'll never let the LA Rams ever forget. My goodness, though, if the Steelers ever won a Super Bowl inside a brand new domed Bengals stadium, you would be unbearable, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
You'd be, oh my God, man.
But
it's
the Browns have a new stadium getting built very, very soon. Maybe they might host that.
Good point.
Ever.
We all know
that's with us. Well, maybe we're worse than you guys, but we would be talking about how the Steelers won this and won that. But yeah, to me, you guys did very well to beat those teams and then showcase and win the Super Bowl in their house. That has to be a good feeling.
And look, credit to the 49ers and the Rams in different aspects. The 49ers were gutted by injury for maybe 3/4 of the season. I mean, they lost George Kittle the week before playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, and they were able to go to Philly and get the dub over them. So credit to them. And this is one of these stats that the Seahawks have created for themselves in the 25-26 season. They're the only team, they're one of one to have beaten 3 teams with 12+ victories in a single season. Like that sort of run to beat 49ers with 12 wins and then LA Rams and Patriots with the same number of victories, that's never been done before. And this also comes off the back of the heels of the best ever regular season for a Seahawks franchise, the most amount of victories this franchise has ever had throughout a regular season. And they attained that by defeating the 49ers in that final week of the home and away regular season. And just to touch on that, just a point further, it could have been completely different. Like if the Seahawks defensively did not show up against the 49ers that night, 49ers could have been the number 1 seed. If Zach Charbonnet didn't put his hand down for that 2-point conversion against the Los Angeles Rams, and then we take the game into overtime and snatch victory against the Rams, we could be talking about the Rams as the number 1 seed. It is a season where they have earned it. They earned that
Correct.
number
Yeah.
one seed. And you can't imagine the kind of comments that I've seen. I'm sure you could maybe, but on Facebook, on Instagram, the doubters of, oh, how strong was their campaign and all this other jazz. I mean, I'm stopping myself trying to go away like a runaway locomotive here, mate. But they didn't lose a single road game for the 25 home and away regular season, man. And they've only lost by a combined the games that they only lost 3 games this year, and it was a combined total of about 9 points, if I'm not mistaken. So they were elite. And for Mike McDonald to say, I think the 25-26 Seahawks should be considered to be one of the great teams. I mean, yeah, I can see maybe we should calm down on that aspect. But you look at all the records that this team broke this year, and I ask you as well, man. It could have been the Patriots. It could have been the Denver Broncos if the young quarterback didn't do himself. Bo Nix didn't do himself in. I don't think this Seahawks team would have lost to anybody in that Super Bowl game, man.
They were a very good side, and we'll talk about this too as well.
Yep.
From an Australian perspective, and you and I know football. We've been watching football for a few years now. I've been watching for 20 odd years, and I got many comments from Facebook in person, just random comments from people saying, "Oh, that Super Bowl was a bit boring, wasn't it?" And I was like, "Are you French toast kidding me right now? It was a great Super Bowl. The fact they were winning by 19-0 and then the defense was on fire, and the Patriots couldn't move the ball into the third quarter. The punting was absolutely excellent from Michael Dixon. That to me just shows you, like, once you look at that from a football perspective, it was fantastic. It was on fire.
100%.
I can't get enough of it, But the casual fan might just go, pretty boring, wasn't it? And I was like, it was no big plays. They don't understand how the gameplay was being made, where there's a certain time where the Seahawks, I know we're going through far back, but it was fantastic. Seahawks were a 3rd and 11 football team or something like that, right? It was playing. They ran the ball besides trying to pass it because they knew how good the kicker was in Dixon to pin him back.
That's right.
He pinned them back into the, I think, top 10 or 20 yard line 3 times, or into the 6 yard line 3 times. Therefore, the Patriots could not move the ball at all. I think he was seeing, they talk about Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, and we will talk about him very, very shortly because his story is amazing too. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts for years ago. Same thing with Drake May. They pushed him into a corner, and I got the random, perspective from people from my work and stuff. Oh, that was a bit boring, wasn't it? I'm like, you don't. Come on, the game was.
You don't know ball.
No, it was unreal. What was your feeling around those comments about random Aussies saying that? Oh, it was a boring game.
Oh, it's not even Aussies. I've seen American fans say that was a crap Super Bowl, and it just absolutely bewilders me because the Patriots showed up defensively in that first half, 100%. It was a stout, really gritty, grindy game. And, you got Mr. Collinsworth on the comms saying that was arguably, if not the best defensive effort that he's ever seen in a Super Bowl. Credit to the Seahawks there. But no, I thought it was a very engrossing game. And yeah, sure, like you could have seen a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl where it was like, 40-30 in the end, but they took pride in their defense. And the Patriots, they started to turn the tide of fraction in that third quarter, didn't they? They just stopped us in our tracks a little bit and were able to or not third quarter, it was the fourth quarter, wasn't it? That's when the point scoring did explode, didn't it? So yeah, no, that they definitely made us work for it in the end. But yeah, it was a good game of footy, man. It really was. The defense was super admirable in that first half in particularly. And to everybody that says that was a crap or dour game, you don't get it, because that was truly elite defense played by both teams.
Seahawks were doing what Mike Tomlin has now moved on as our coach. We have now Mike McCarthy, but they were doing what we normally do in games, which is move down the field. If we have to get a field goal, they do. So they have our Chris Boswell kick one. You guys are doing something similar. You got up to 12 points and you scored the touchdown. It was 19-0. And then from that point, all over. Like, it was just controlled where the opposition side on game day could not move the football down the field. And you guys were so impressive. I do want to go back, though, to one thing you mentioned about winning from away games. You know where I think it all started, Sam? It started when our running back, Caleb Johnson, it was the Seahawks versus the Steelers, decided not to pick up that return. From that point, we lost the game. That was week 2 or week 3. Do you remember that when Caleb Johnson gave you guys a free touchdown? Put his hands up in the air?
Of course I do. Look, I didn't want to mention it, mate. I did, but you've done it. Yeah, no, look, you got to have luck to make it deep into playoffs, to win games of footy. And I'm not saying the Seahawks didn't get massive amounts of luck. I mentioned that Los Angeles overtime victory just a moment ago. But yeah, that was the first win of the season. The Seahawks went down to the 49ers in a very close game in week 1, and then to travel to Steelers Nation, it was a good game of footy, but that really was the play that broke the camel's back, because you guys
17-14, and you guys, and we were just like, oh, Caleb Johnson was like, okay, have a TD.
100%, man. Like you guys didn't play poorly in that first half. I think the second half things got a little bit shaky there off the top of the dome. But yeah, no, that was definitely the play that broke the camel's back, and I don't think we'll see that play, hopefully, for anybody ever again, man. Because yeah, that was a classic. That was a goat brain snap, wasn't it?
It was a rookie mistake, and then we hope that Caleb Johnson comes back this year in his second year and does really well, and maybe goes into. We don't know if Gamewell's coming back for us as well on this roster. I just wanted to point that out. Maybe that's where the success for the Seahawks started, when you just demolished us here. Sam, I'm enjoying this conversation so much. We're going to go to a quick break here on Steel Curtain Network, and after the break, I want to jump into this thing. You guys have a quarterback right now in Sam Darnold. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about Sam Darnold and how, and I want to hear your advice. How can the Pittsburgh Steelers copy that success with Sam Darnold being QB? So let's go to a break here on Steel Curtain Network, and we'll be right back after this. Alrighty, Steel Nation, we are back now with Sam, the happy Seahawks fan from Wobblin Jaw Sports. How you doing, mate? What's going on?
Yeah, man. No, I'm thoroughly enjoying the conversation that I'm having with you, obviously. But yeah, no, it's going good guns, mate.
Yeah, and before the break on here on SCN, I wanted to bring up, because I really do think some or most of your success is the Sam Darnold story, and I think that's unbelievable. His story from being in a jet and seeing ghosts, and then getting cut by teams and not getting third quarterback reps or whatever it may be. He finds his home with Seattle. What are your thoughts just on Sam Darnold as a person, as a quarterback for your club? And what's the future for him as a Seahawk? Or can we borrow him for a season?
No. The Sam Darnold redemption story, I still don't think it quite sinks into a number of fan bases or a number of people. I don't think it's even quite sunk into to me as well. This bloke was dunked on for many years there, and he found himself in a good Vikings team that unfortunately didn't do much of a good situation, and he comes into Seahawks territory, taking over from Geno Smith. And just before I continue on with Sam Darnold, I mean, the Seahawks lost DK Metcalf. We'll speak about him maybe potentially in a moment, but Geno Smith as well, Tyler Lockett and Pete Carroll, all in the space of about 12 months or so, man. So it's been a really, really quick rebuild at the Seattle Seahawks. They pick up Sam Darnold, who was coming off his best ever year at that point in time, and I was happy for it. I was happy for the Seahawks to purchase him. Obviously, there was a bit of trepidation there, but I was happy to back him, and he played excellently in that first week despite the loss, and he played well in the first half. I think around that halfway point of the regular season, he started to have a lot of turnovers. I believe that before the home and away regular season was done, he was the quarterback with the most amount of turnovers in the home and away regular season. And that was very evident to me as well. That's something that I didn't just read up on the tabloid sort of thing. That me watching these games, that was very evident that Sam Darnold and this Seahawks offensive line were pretty poor there for a fraction of time in regards to turnovers. And then again, I've got to mention it again because it's law now. It's genuinely fact that the moment that they won that game against Los Angeles, Sam Darnold had been battered from pillar to post. He was absolutely destroyed. I think he was sacked 9 times against the Los Angeles Rams last year. in a single game. And, you know, the whole seeing ghosts storyline eventuated and in the lead up to that game. And he came out and steered the ship and tore down the middle of the paddock and got that victory. And then he did it again against the Los Angeles Rams. And something that I did hear about the tabloids and something that, you know, I did ascertain from it as well is that in the Super Bowl, Sam Darnold, he only completed at about 50 to 60% of his passes. And it really was the offensive line and the defense, of course, that really steered them to that Super Bowl victory. There was that fourth quarter where Sam Darnold did lay it on for AJ Barner and what have you. But Sam Darnold, he'll be the first one to tell you it is a team sport. And he definitely needed his team, especially in that first half, because the Patriots were incredible defensively. And Sam Darnold was only able to complete about 50 to 60% of his passes in the Super Bowl. So that's a credit to the rest of his team there. So it's incredible what Sam Darnold has been able to achieve, to be a part of that draft class where he has made it to a Super Bowl before Josh Allen and then before your man who I'm Lamar. Yeah, your man Lamar Jackson. Yeah, man. I mean, Joe Burrow did get to a Super Bowl but didn't win it, obviously. And yeah, for Sam Darnold to be the first one to do it, absolutely nobody.
Even Baker Mayfield now with the Buccaneers, he was a part of that stuff too. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, I give high respect for that, and that's why. So, in terms of the Steelers trying to copy the Seahawks' success, do you think it's a route? Like, I know there's not two Sam Darnolds out there, but is there a route where Pittsburgh could pick up another quarterback in a free agent market, maybe like a Malik Willis? We are connected to Rodgers again. I'm okay with that, but do you think they should go with someone younger and try and copy that success and get someone who has been, you know, bruised and battered by the media, by teams, by this and this? Or was it like more unique to the Seahawks and how they did things? Because I think Minnesota made a massive mistake.
Yep.
He played fantastic with the Vikings, and they went, oh, yeah, we'll go with a younger bloke, JJ McCarthy, and see how we go. And then Sam goes and wins Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, sorry. There's no doubt that there's going to be a lot of franchises that look at what the Seahawks have done this season, or even over the past couple of years with Mike McDonald at the helm, and try to copy that. I personally, you know, well, you can take some plays out of a playbook from another franchise. You got to do your own thing, man. And for me personally, if I'm a Steelers fan, I don't want Aaron Rodgers there at quarterback. You're also bringing in Mike McCarthy, and to me personally, I'm not a fan of the signing of Mike McCarthy. I liked him as a head coach for the Dallas Cowboys and Packers, and I don't know. I just really think that you needed to go young and fresh, and you're with Rodgers and McCarthy at this point in time. So yeah, with Malik Willis though, my goodness, he showed a fair bit of fire in his arm for a couple of games there last year. So no, I'd be excited by that, and maybe you keep Rodgers on to, you know, help out Mr. Willis there. But as so far as, you know, what you can learn from the Seahawks if you're a Steelers fan, look, it's weird because you guys at the start of the year were touted as the most expensive defense in the NFL, or one of the best defenses. So maybe you got to go out and find yourself a defensive coordinator. Or, you know, I mean, I'm not too sure who have you got now? Defensive coordinator?
They got rid of Terrell Austin because he was connected with Mike Tomlin, and Terrell Austin hasn't found a job just yet. And look, I can't bash the bloke too much, but he wasn't the best fit for Pittsburgh. Now we've got the other bloke here from the Raiders, and Patrick Graham. And I think that's where the Raiders are an organization that they're doing these fancy things, getting the running back and Genty and all this kind of stuff, but they just haven't got winning culture at the moment. So Patrick Graham is going to be next to Mike McCarthy, and I think it should be a better fit. But we're not even sure if, say, Cameron Hayward's going to come back and he's retiring this year or whatever it may be. We're not even sure if the Steelers are going to let go or trade away Alex Highsmith and bring someone else in. We are so unsure with so many different moves because it's a whole new coaching staff. With Mike Tomlin leaving means a lot of players will be out looking for different jobs, or that Mike McCarthy might bring his guys in. So we do have someone better from that point. In terms of the Rodgers thing, and from your perspective, I fully understand. As I do know the Rooneys, and most Steelers fans out there know, they just kind of do these things that are comfortable. I'm okay with it now. Like, many Yinzers went crazy about Mike McCarthy being the coach because he was older or whatever. And I understand you want to go the younger direction, but the Rooneys kind of do this, and they had the grades the other day, and then they got an F or something in these sporting grades. But the Rooneys do things always very comfortable. It's probably getting Rodgers back, getting Mike McCarthy, who's been their coach for many, many years, and we're going to see this 9-10, 10-11, maybe 11-12 season, and that may get a playoff win. But I fully understand what you're saying in terms of the Rodgers being, 43 at the end of the year, and then Mike McCarthy maybe just over the hump, because many Steelers fans weren't happy with Mike Tomlin, and next minute they go and hire an older bloke. But is there a quarterback out there you think that the Steelers could use right now? It's Rodgers, free agent. Mason Rudolph, he's been a backup for a very long time, played a small role as a starter. Will Howard's our guy on the roster, 6th-round pick, been given a chance yet, but he got injured in the preseason. Is there someone like that in that Sam Darnold situation as a free agent, or the Steelers could get, or what do we do?
Whoa, strike me pink, man. I can't think of any names off the top of the dome at the moment, mate. But yeah, the Steelers defense probably should have been a fraction better defensively this year, considering how much that they spent on the defense. But in terms of quarterback, man, I mean, I'm thinking about the Indiana Hoosiers that just had their season, and there were a lot of rumors there that because the head coach, I can't remember his name at the moment, he's a Pittsburgh native himself, the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers there. So maybe that's someone that you've missed there, and possibly the quarterback of that team that is now a Las Vegas Raider, maybe there. But I mean, what's your draft position in the next couple of months?
So we have been, like, I joke on this with a bit of a smile. We're 21. The Steelers have always been good and not great enough to win in a very long time, and they haven't been bad enough to lose to get the overall number 1 pick. So we've been, I think, back-to-back years drafting 21. Steelers can move up to get a quarterback. However, they were burnt by our good mate, Kenny Pickett. I don't know, he was part of your team, but he was a part of many other teams when the Steelers got rid of him. He went to the Eagles, he went to the Raiders, he went here, he went there, he went there, went everywhere. Kenny Pickett, I think, kind of burnt them from my number 1 drafting quarterback position. That's why I find your Seahawks success so intriguing and interesting, and no one's talking about it because we're talking about the NFL Combine right now. It's because you've got Sam Darnold, who's pretty much resurrected his career. And you now have a franchise quarterback that the Steelers don't have. So it becomes a little bit frustrating. Now, I wouldn't mind if Rodgers does come back. It'd be a fun year, see what happens, get the defense ready, get some offensive weapons, and see how it plays out. But we haven't got the Jaden Daniels. We haven't got the Lamar Jackson. We haven't got the Josh Allen, this guy, that guy, Baker Mayfield, the franchise quarterback. You guys out there in Seahawks land and 12 territory has a franchise quarterback. And to be honest, I'm going to expand this into a minute. You guys draft very well. You got that safety. I can't even pronounce his name in the 2nd-round pick last year. What was his name?
Byron Emonwari. Sorry. Yes. Emonwari. Yes.
Fantastic for you guys. You guys are drafting very well. You did I think you, when you got rid of the Russell Wilson trade to Denver, they gave you picks back for all these different picks, right?
Yep.
So they've been doing very well. And the Steelers, from this sense, we can't seem to find a quarterback after Big Ben. And maybe from your perspective, you said the Rodgers thing isn't the right go. Would that make sense? Rodgers isn't the right play for us, you think?
He did well for you guys last year, but you guys, as you said, seem to be doing things comfortably. You've hired Mike McCarthy, who, look, showed a lot of passion in his press conference when he was hired, which is all you must have asked for, and would have been really, really happy to see that sort of pride beaming from him. So, I hope he kills it, man. But considering that Mike Tomlin had been around for so long, Aaron Rodgers, in his early 40s now, I really thought that the Steelers would have gone into a younger, fresher direction. And I do think that it is a bit of a letdown from the Steelers that they didn't go in that direction, man.
Yeah, and another thing too is I sneaked through the draft last year, and I'm not even sure if you used him. You had the other bloke there, Jalen Milroe, the Alabama quarterback. So not only do you have a quarterback right now, with being Sam Darnold seeing ghosts, possibly
Mm.
you're at the same time you could be successful with him in your defense. Seahawks would be the new power team, and you have a quarterback on your roster that could develop.
Yeah, we've also got Drew Lock still. Oh, I'm not too sure if he's going to be around next year, but we did have Drew Lock there for a couple of years. And we also had I had the idea anyway of Mr. Michael Penix Jr., who did really well for the Huskies a couple of years ago in college football. And then he got picked up by the Atlanta Falcons. And I was really hoping that maybe we could pick him up as a depth signing, but I think he's locked into the Falcons for the next couple of years. So, but you're right, man. The Seahawks draft class of 2025, and I think even in Mike Macdonald's first year, was really, really solid stuff, man. I'm just going to go through. So we had Gray Zabel at guard come in, and he was number 18 overall. Nick Emonwari, he was number 35 overall in the second round. Tight end Elijah Ario, Jalen Milroe. Riley Mills. Riley Mills played in the Super Bowl and had his first ever sack at NFL level in the Super Bowl, did Riley Mills. Torrey Horton. Now, he was somebody that what do I say here? We hated that we missed him because he got injured very early on. I think it was his ACL. I can't remember, but Torrey Horton had an outstanding few weeks to open up the season. Then he got himself an injury, either his shoulder or ACL, that ruled him out for the rest of the year. So he's coming back for the Seahawks, hopefully, fingers crossed, in 26-27. Robbie Oates, Bryce Cabaldu, Damian Martinez, Mason Richmond, and Ricky White III in round 7. So we picked up approximately about 10 pretty damn solid pickups there in that draft. So really, really good. And Nick Emonwari, must have been a bees away from being the defensive rookie of the season.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys had a really good draft, even going back to last year. AJ Brown, the tight end who caught the very first pass in Super Bowl. Now, the Steelers are drafting, I think, pretty well too in certain parts, and Darnell Washington, tight end, but it all depends, what direction they go this year. But I just keep coming back to it, and Steelers fans listening right now, we need a franchise quarterback. And what you guys have done with Sam Darnold to get him to be your Seahawks quarterback for 5-7 years, I don't know what contract did he sign for you guys, and what's the future for him?
What contract did he sign? Well, the future for him, he basically has been given the checkbook, hasn't he? And he can write whatever the freaking hell that he wants nowadays, 100%. As far as how long he's got, I'm just going to check it out now.
I can't remember. It's like a 2 or 3 year contract. I can't remember what it was. Something like that, right? 2 or 3 years.
Coming up straight away. Yeah, no, you are correct. So it's a 3-year, $100 million contract which is cheap as chips, bro.
It's $100 million.
Yeah, $100 million for 3 years, man. Cheap as chips. And he is entitled, like Jackson Smith in Jigba, to go to the Seahawks and say, upgrade. It's time to upgrade me, because he's worth every penny.
It's so funny when you say it like that, though, to the average bloke here in Australia. Oh, it's only a 3-year contract, $100 million. That easy.
The richest contract in rugby league at the moment is $1.3 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean, and fans will go, that's too much. That's too much. And Sam Darnold just picks up $100 million, I think, guaranteed in 3 seasons, man. So, look, I wish, look, I don't wish that, I wish I had maybe the ingredients for you, but then again, I don't want to reveal those ingredients to you as well, mate. We want to keep that under lock and key.
This is something now for the Seahawks, and what I do want the Steelers to copy this success somehow, if it is getting a franchise quarterback or Will Howard develops and he's our guy, because we haven't had that. We've had the Kenny Pickett, didn't work out. Trubisky was absolutely awful. You had the Russell Wilson, didn't work out. Justin Fields didn't work out. And now Rodgers and the Mason Rudolph experiment hasn't worked out. So now you have Rodgers there for maybe a year, and then we're in the same. If we do the whole season again and we lose a playoff game, well, then next year we're in the same thing, fine at quarterback. Whereas Seahawks at the moment, they're building the defense, you're building the O line in your team, and drafting very well, and then that success gives you a championship. To let alone have Sam Darnold probably go into the playoffs next year. The more I think about it, I'm not going to become a Seahawks fan, but I'm like, how do we figure this out? How do the Steelers, you know, it's so amazing. This team has remained relevant and competitive, and Steel fans out there, honestly, and all around the world are like, how can we be competitive and relevant again? How do we do it, Sam? Is it really getting rid of Rodgers, or how do the Steelers come back to playoff success?
You got to ask Mike McCarthy, mate. I'm so focused on the Seahawks, bro, that I don't know the answer for you, mate. But I'm just looking at the free agents that are available for you guys. I mean, Daniel Jones, it says here, as of 2 days ago, is a free agent. Maybe would you be opposed to having a Daniel Jones? Yeah, Danny Jones from the Colts.
It'd be something similar where he has been a successful story sometimes, and sometimes he's been really bad. But if they were to sign him and go that route, I think his injuries have played up a fair bit. I think Yinzer Nation, Steel Nation will be very pissed off if they were to sign him. However, if things would have happened, they turned around like Sam Darnold, and I'm sure there was a lot of Seahawks skeptics as well in your fan base when they signed Sam Darnold, saying, "Oh, he can't play, he's terrible." Next minute, they love him. So there could be a possibility that may happen. The biggest thing is the Steelers go into the season. Rodgers is now saying, we think he's a report saying he'll be there, maybe signed the next 3 weeks, or, it won't linger on until June like it did last year. But Steelers fans are getting look, the only way, I think your defense was phenomenal this year. They were ranked number 1 all season, did great things, but it's still the backing of the quarterback and the guy in charge. And he's the same guy that does check down to your running back in Kenneth Walker III or Charbonnet or those blokes, right? They still have to be the general on the field. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's where it's come back to. Steelers right now, their defense, it is the number 1 paid defense in the league. However, they are ranked like 20, 21st, 25th, like that. It's absolutely terrible with the superstars on the roster. So when I look to your Seahawks, I go, what you guys have been doing last 3 years is being relevant, been winning 10 wins, 11 wins, 14 wins, winning away from home, beating your rivals, going into Santa Clara, winning the Super Bowl with a Sam Darnold quarterback that's played phenomenal in the Vikings, which they should not let him go, and they did. And then you go and get a superstar in a tight end, TJ Barnum, to get the first TD. You have the defense to back it up, and you're nodding your head and saying yes, but it's all true. And then your defense keeps you in these games and keeps you relevant. Have an all-star punter, the Aussie Michael Dixon, who can boom out of nowhere. I think he was like a former AFL player. You guys are doing everything right. And I'm just hoping the Steelers can grab a bit of that and figure it out.
Dude, you just said his name there, man. Michael Dixon. As a couple of Aussies, man, and beaming, on an Australian channel, man. Let's talk about Michael Dixon, man. Like, he's not the first Aussie to do what he's done over in America, but he was in serious calculations to be the MVP of the Super Bowl that day. As you said, he kicked it 3 times, and that ball landed inside that 10-meter zone, 7-meter zone of the Patriots end, man. Michael Dixon is one of the most clutch, and I think now that because he has won a Super Bowl, I think he is the most clutch punter in the NFL, and he's had so many amazing moments that the normal NFL fan living in America had never seen before. And that's, Michael Dixon comes in with his AFL boot. He was once part of the Sydney Swans Academy. I'm not too sure if he made his first grade debut. I can't remember at this point, but yeah, man, it's just an amazing story for Michael Dixon, who's come back, and he has had his fish and chips with some chicken salt as well, bro. He was down at the Sporting Globe down in Sydney, I believe, about 24 hours ago. You better believe that if he ever comes up to Brisbane, man, I'm just taking the day off work and saying I'll be back in a couple of hours, boys and girls. But Michael Dixon, man, he is – I know it's very maybe recency bias, but he's got to be one of the best Australian athletes going around today, and I'm talking about top 5 Australian athletes going around around the planet as an Australian, man. I don't know
He's
what your thoughts are about
he's
that, but he's
consistent.
incredible.
He's so consistent in the way he does punt the ball. He's got the Aussie flair and flavor. Definitely does deserve recognition for what he's doing over there as a punter, as an Aussie, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just think your team, I think it's setting itself up for success. You're coming out of this rebuild route to and thing, getting out of the Russell Wilson era that which we took on to. I think you shipped away DK Metcalf for whatever reason. Maybe you got more ideas than I do. DK Metcalf getting shipped to us, and they still seem to figure it out and get JSN added to your roster. He's like an absolute crazy human specimen out there. Receiving, he's just an unbelievable guy to get 1,700 yards and TDs and all this kind of stuff. Rebuilding the roster, doing all these things, winning a Super Bowl, and saying, "Hey, what's next?" And you go into all that other fan base out there. Have you forgot about the Seahawks? I kind of want to see that with the Steelers do that, and I think it does start with the quarterback, or it starts with, we have DK Metcalf, but who can be next to him? But here's a question, because you're a Seahawks fan. Why did you guys get rid of DK Metcalf? What was the issue there?
I think I would, if I had to put a bet on it, I think maybe DK Metcalf was not fitting into the culture that Mike McDonald was trying to build there. We saw him explode a couple of times on the sidelines there during the Seahawks run, and unfortunately we saw him have a moment against a Detroit Lions fan. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I actually think that it was more so if I had to bet, I truly don't know the answer to it, but I think it was a Mike McDonald decision. He recognized that DK Metcalf was just a loose cannon, and he was a loose cannon in his final year at the Seahawks. And I think it was the correct move. I thought it was the correct move as well to move on Geno Smith as well. And Tyler Lockett to miss out on a Super Bowl is gut-wrenching. Tyler Lockett was absolutely amazing. If you just don't mind me talking about two players again, or two players. So Kenneth Walker III, the running back, the MVP for the Super Bowl, I do agree with that he should have been the MVP. Kenneth Walker, now, in rugby league terms, man, we've seen Jared Hayne from 2009 go on a run. We've seen Tom Trbojevic in 2021, and we saw Reece Walsh do what he did for the Brisbane Broncos in the National Rugby League last season. To me, even before Zach Charbonnet went down with an ACL injury, Kenneth Walker was having those destructive games at the running back. And the amazing thing is in Mike McDonald's first year, the running back position and the offensive line, it wasn't there. That was probably our Achilles heel, and it was our Achilles heel as well, not to the degree as it was the year before, but to start the 2025-2026 season, the running back position and the plays that they were trying to perfect, it wasn't quite syncing up correctly. And Charbonnet and Walker somehow found the connection halfway through this year and absolutely exploded. And the running back position, or the runs that Kenneth Walker was making, was out of this world. And when Charbonnet went down, somehow Walker went to another level, and he was untouchable. He was unstoppable for the final 5 or 6 weeks of the home and away regular season. He was absolutely amazing. And to think that we might be losing him in this off season, it's dangerous signs, because Charbonnet may not be back until the very late weeks of the home and away regular season due to the ACL. Walker might be gone. So then who does Seahawks now have all of a sudden? So Walker was responsible, I think, more so than Sam Darnold in the playoffs to break the line and get upfield and score. Not saying Sam Darnold played bad, of course I'm not, but Walker was just that man. He was him in the playoffs. And then speaking of him, the offensive player of the year in Jackson Smith and Jigba, what an incredible year that young man has had. He has blown away the minds. He has taken the hearts of everybody, in my opinion, man. And his first 10 weeks of the year, he was on track to beat that record, the all-time receiving yards record. And unfortunately, his second half did wane, but that's because Kenneth Walker came into his prime, came into his own, and took over in that aspect. And it was good to have another dimension to the offense in that instance. But Jackson Smith-Njigba absolutely deserved his Offensive Player of the Year. I know that Puka Nacua and Christian McCaffrey were coming right on the heels of Mr. Smith-Njigba, but no, that absolutely deserved to go to him. And you said AJ Barner as well, man. Didn't he have some clutch moments in 2025 when all options were out? Somehow Barner found a way to find some space, to be in a position to catch a Sam Darnold pass. I thought Barner had a really underrated campaign. If you look back closely, yes, not every game he was a standout or he did his thing because of reasons X, Y, and Z. But I thought AJ Barner was really, really strong in the 2025 season.
Yeah, and you've got guys like, Charbonnet, Walker. It's the blokes that we want to see be successful, and they are to a certain degree in Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, if they can bring him back, or whatever with Johnson and Frymouth as well. Around Steeler Nation, outside in Frymouth, hasn't been getting the ball as much, but he had signed a 3-year contract, but he hasn't been, maybe wasn't involving in Mike Tomlin's, kind of game plans. Depending on what happens next with the tight ends, that kind of stuff. I just think you're well deserved. I think the fan bases from other teams should be talking about it, but we do go into combine talk. We do on the draft talk, go that kind of stuff. But I kind of want to end the show on this notion, talking a little bit about the rugby league and also the NFL coming to Melbourne. And maybe you might, yourself, and we can go down the pub in Melbourne and meet there for a game when it's Rams versus, who was it? Rams versus 49ers? I can't remember. Is it Rams first? Yeah, Rams and 49ers. Trying to get a ticket for that is absolutely insane. On my booking.com, I've got 2 different weeks booked in what I think it's going to be in terms of the first week, and I'll see if I can try and save money that way. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the NRL, the National Rugby League right now, in a few days' time, is going to Vegas. So if you guys out there are from Vegas, make sure you catch it over the weekend. Or if it has been passed, we're recording from the future. Maybe watch it on ESPN or whatever it can. What can you tell our listeners, American listeners, about rugby league? And you call the games too on your channel. Check out Wobblin Jaw Sports, and you call it live, like a live broadcaster. What can you tell the American listeners about National Rugby League in going to Vegas? What are your thoughts?
Well, rugby league is a game that is promoted to go 80 minutes, and by the time that the 80 minutes elapses, probably 90 minutes has elapsed. Whereas an NFL game is promoted to be 60 minutes, and 3 hours later we're still sitting there. So it is fast. It is a fast, impactful, skillful sport. In my opinion, I know we're an NFL. In an NFL landscape right now, you and I, man, and I don't want to put you in any hot water, but I do think that rugby league is the best sport on the planet, and NFL is my second passion. And if you're an American that loves brutality, go and check this out. If you're an American that loves to see acrobatic skills while putting their bodies, their necks and their backs on the line, go and check this out. I really don't think any American, anybody across the planet will be disappointed if they ever treat themselves to a game of rugby league. And I do think that the tide is starting to turn for the NRL. I do think that maybe not so much in America, but it feels like worldwide. If you cancel out America, I think that rugby league is starting to get a little bit more momentum. I think, go on.
I'll put it this way. I don't know if you agree with this, because I've been watching NRL for a long time when I go for the Manly Seagulls, which you probably don't like, but it's okay. We embrace the hate. I think the NRL is becoming fun again. Would you put it that way? It's becoming fun again. I don't know. It has got more. Maybe the hype is more fun. The lead up's more fun. Maybe these big games are. I don't know. It does seem like back in the day when I was a kid, I was watching Fatty Vaught and all these guys out there in one of our sports show. It was really fun to watch. Chief and all that kind of stuff. I do think now the NRL is starting to become fun, and Americans out there, if you are listening when I show this on Steel Nation Australia, head out to Vegas, go see a game, go to a pub, watch the game. Rugby league is a great contest, and over the first kickoff games, I believe it is the Newcastle Knights are up the road from me versus your North Queensland Cowboys. That's the that's the first match, and the second match on the same day is the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs versus the who are the Dragons now? Dragons,
St. George Illawarra.
Yeah. Which they used to be
Just St. George.
Here's something for you. I cannot say the word. The Steelers and the Illawarra Dragons, right? Back in the day.
No, there was never an Illawarra Dragons. It was always Illawarra Steelers.
Right. Do you remember the Illawarra Steelers, right? Do you know how they won that, how they got that name in the NRL?
I can't think of it off the top of the dome now, no.
100% it's connected to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So back in the day in 1984, whenever it was, some random bloke from that name I cannot pronounce, Illawarra, I can't pronounce it.
You did it.
That bloke there on radio called up and said, name him the Steelers because it's the connections to steel mills and that kind of stuff. And it was based on because he was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. That's how they got the name.
100%. I didn't know that.
There's articles on It's linked back to the Steelers and the crazy logo. And that's not why I became a Steelers fan. I did like them back in the day. Maybe a small little of like in the back of my memories, maybe on why, but I chose them because of black and gold colors. But yeah, the Illawarra Steelers, who were that team for 80s, 90s, whatever it was, then they turned into the St. George Dragons. That's why. Based off the Pittsburgh and the Steelers. So if you can, Steeler Nation and fans out there, go and check out the game. Look it up on, I don't know if you have to get like a weird VPN or whatever it may be. Check out Rugby League with Sam's North Queensland Cowboys versus Knights and the Bulldogs versus the Dragons in week 1. Big spectacle in Vegas. However, to end this show, I do want to talk about, Sam, are you going to Melbourne, if you can, with work pending, to watch the 49ers versus the Rams, which is your division teams? They can't both lose. Are you going to go down there?
Snoop Dogg, I think there is such a missed opportunity that it's not the Seahawks that are going down. Imagine having the Super Bowl champions in Australia, man. It was right there. It was right there. But the NFL and NFL Australia, they have a contract that where Melbourne will be having another 2 more years. So there's another opportunity there for Seahawks fans or any fan really to watch out for in 2027. I can't go down, Mark, because I don't want to give money to the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers as a Seahawks fan, bro. I can't do it. And look, I'd love to catch up with you over a beer or something like that, man, but I just can't. I can't go down and watch the Rams and the 49ers.
How's that form, though? They're two rivals in Australia. Your hatred rivals, dislike rivals are the 49ers.
Both absolute losers that got absolutely whipped by the Seahawks. Yeah, they're not the best of the best, bro. There was such an opportunity there, though, wasn't there, Mark, to bring the Seahawks down, bro? And tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe because I'm just so invested in the Seahawks and seeing, how many other Seahawks fans there are in Australia. But there are thousands of Seahawks fans in Australia. They're not a small commodity down under, man. And you'd sell it out. I mean, Las Vegas Raiders versus the Seahawks down at MCG in 27 would sell out, or hopefully, however it might be structured. Imagine if we get a Seahawks Steelers game in Melbourne in a couple of years. Then you and I will be on. We'll be on for young and old, bro. Yes.
Replay 40 in Melbourne.
Shut up. Shut up.
I just think it's funny that, like, obviously as an Aussie, you love your sport, love your NRL, love your NFL, love your Seahawks, and the fact that it's the first ever regular season game because many. I think it was 1980 something for the Broncos and someone else came out for a preseason game. So something like that happened. So it's the very first regular season game in NFL history. And the fact that it's 2 teams that are in your division and they're going to get the highlight, but you guys won the Super Bowl last year. And yes, I do think as well that you will get there's been rumors about they're going to play that game first. However, they've been playing the Super Bowl match first every time. and they should still do that. They should play the NFL Super Bowl, give pay homage to you guys and give respects for you guys winning. I don't think they jump the gun in front. If anything, they'll play one day later. I think it's going to be Thursday for the Seahawks to verse whoever, and then it would be in America Friday, which would be our Thursday. What do you think about that?
That the last time I heard and read that the NFL game is going to be hosted here in Australia on a Wednesday morning at about 10 a.m. in the morning. I believe that's the last time I heard about the rumors of when it will be kicking off. So I think the NFL Australia game will be the very first game.
You reckon? Well, that's going to chip into your Seahawks.
That's not my opinion. That's not my opinion. That's just from what I'm reading. And as far as having a Super Bowl rematch straight away, I'm all for it. The unveiling of the banner, it's going to be an incredibly special occasion. Whatever day it will fall on, it will still mean just as much. But the other opponent that I'd love to see, if it wasn't to be a Super Bowl rematch, I'd love to see Seahawks hosting the Chicago Bears in week 1 of the NFL season. That would be a blockbuster to get around.
Yeah, so normally the NFL, says respects to the Super Bowl winner, they host it, and whoever they come in and host. This year, though, with the first ever NFL game, regular season in Australia, it's going to throw a spanner in the works, but it's either going to be, I think, on a Wednesday or a Thursday in Australia, which would mean it'll be on a Thursday, the first ever game, or it'll be on a Friday, something like that. But it's going to be...
Or it might be like 2 games that will be aired in America on the same day or on the Thursday, something to that effect. But we will find out in May, which is when the schedule is all locked in, isn't it?
Well, either way, you're not going to go down there because you don't like them both. So
well, you enjoy it. I'll still watch it, of course, mate. But I know that Australia are being given 2 absolute punishments, 2 absolute losers, bro.
It's like sending over the Browns and Bengals for me, and I'll be like, oh, yuck, bro. You sending the Browns and Bengals over me?
Would you still go?
Oh, it actually would be tough.
It'd be tough, man.
I do want to go down there because I want to meet up with some Steelers fans and do that kind of stuff. I probably would because they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. I don't know. But it's the same thing. It's very funny, the fact that it's 49ers, Rams, and all this big hoo-ha, this. And you're sitting back going, we won the Super Bowl last year. Where's our parade? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
In Australia.
But in all honesty as well, man, what a blockbuster to actually have for Australia. The Rams versus the 49ers, man. There is no lack of superstar power in this game, man.
Yeah, Matt Stafford's coming back he announced on the post game the other day or whatever. He's coming back. I think Brock Purdy, have some defensive stars up there, and 49ers, as always play very tough. It's going to be a fun one. I don't know if I can go to the game just yet and get tickets because I've heard there's about 100,000 people waiting for tickets. And I already spent too much money on my Dublin tickets when I went to Ireland, about almost over $2,000. It was crazy. Had to be their moment, but holy smoke, I spent a lot of money. I'll probably just go down there to meet Steelers fans, have a good time, have a beer, have a laugh. You'll maybe hoping for a draw. I don't know how it works out. The one team. I don't know, who do you hate? Who would you dislike more out of those 2 teams?
Oh, no.
49ers? That's the bigger rivalry, right?
They're not my most disliked team in the NFL. But yes, I would have to say that I would be rooting for the Rams that day. Yes, if I had to. Yes.
Who is your most disliked team in the NFL?
Patriots, and it was so sweet. That was them. I hate the Patriots, and it was so good that we got them that day.
Is that because of the catch? Is that because of the catch?
No, it's everything. It's everything. They're a bunch of cheats, aren't they? The Patriots are a pack of cheaters, aren't they, bro? They've had their time in the sun. They also had the easiest schedule. You want to talk about easy schedules?
Very easy.
Oh, don't even get me started. Yes.
They had this. Even the snow helped them win because nobody could score points in the 4th quarter. That snowstorm came in. Nobody could move the ball. If that game was going for another 2 hours, it's going to be 10-7. They couldn't even run right. Nobody had their snow cleats on. They didn't have their snow tires on. They couldn't go anywhere. They had as well. They versed, or the Texans shot us. Stroud just decided to give up 5 interceptions.
Oh, good goodness me, CJ Stroud. My goodness, doesn't he have an important year next year? But we digress. Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that because you now have won over a lot of Steelers fans because many Steelers fans can't stand the Patriots because they've been in our way. And they're going to love that comment by saying the most hated team from Sam Wobblin Jaw Sports is Patriots.
Don't get me wrong, mate. It is because of you that Steelers isn't quite there up at number one, man. I've definitely come around because of you, my bro. Yes.
Oh, we love that 40, but that 40 going back, there's different storylines and there's articles about, was it rigged? Was the refs not on? Was this? Was that? And there's many, many theories about how we got help that day.
And dude, for the listeners, I'm wearing a Hasselbeck jersey, number 8 jersey. This jersey on it, Hasselbeck, it is 20 years old, bro. This jersey I'm wearing is 20 years old, and I have bought, now that they've won it, I've bought the special edition Seahawks jersey that's coming in with the Super Bowl patch and 12 on the back, man. So I'm finally upgrading my friggin' Seahawks jersey, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we've got that. Super Bowl 40 was a big one for both teams, and it worked out. But you guys on the right foot right now. You're in a better position than the Steelers are to run it back and have success. That's why I wanted to bring you on to get your perception and your ideas on football and NFL. Sam, one big thank you from Steeler Nation Australia here, and just come on the show. You're awesome. If you want to give a quick shout out to your YouTube channel and where people can find you. And big thank you to the Steel Curtain Network audience and G'day Steelers Nation. Longer episode today. I have finally had someone to talk to, so it was nice to not just talk to my own head. But yeah, Sam, where can the Steelers Nation supporters find your YouTube channel and your work?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So thank you very much. I've had a really enjoyable time with you this evening. Where people can find me is on YouTube, X, or Instagram, just Wobblin Jaw Sports into either of those 3 social media accounts, man. And are you going? Hey, you're going over to the draft, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man.
In like 2 months or whatever. It's nuts.
No, sick. No, that's sick, man. You're an international man of mystery, bro.
Yeah, I went to Dublin last year. After this one, I might calm down a bit, but I couldn't miss this one. It's the first time that Pittsburgh's going to host the draft. Apparently, 700,000 people are going to be there. Don't know where they're going to fit on the North Shore, South Side, or even in downtown. I don't know where they're going to fit. We're having a big party at. There's myself and Steelers Dynasty Podcast having a big party here at the Benjamin Franklin's Tap Room and Grill, NFL Draft 26 for 3 days, going live stream for 3 days, having some beers and good time. So, Sam, thanks, mate, for coming on. It was such a great conversation. I can see how happy you are with your team. Check this guy out, because what I normally do after my shift on some Sunday afternoons when I'm finishing up, I turn him on and I don't need to listen to the radio, him call football, because if Sam's doing it by himself, doing a live stream like and down the 20 in the sideline and then 2, far wide right pass and flick out the back, he's talking about NRL. And I listen to that and I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't need the radio. I don't need Vossi Vaughan or whatever his name is, Vossi. I listen to Sam on YouTube, and sometimes I'm not even sure who's playing, but I just listen. He's got his mate there as well. It's good fun. It's just very animated stuff. I just chill out to it as I'm driving home the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes of my drive. It's like you are on the radio, Sam.
Oh, dude, no, I really appreciate that, man. No, dude, I really appreciate the compliments there, bro. I really do. I love the sport, and I just love sport in general, man. And the Cowboys and the Seahawks, they're right up the top there for me, man. I love this franchise.
You're calling the game. You're calling your Queensland game.
Yeah. I'll be calling it this weekend, but I've been a fan of the Seahawks since 2003. This isn't just a bandwagon thing that's just happened overnight. Like, I've been a fan for 22, 23 years and counting, man. So, and I've never been as proud of this franchise as I have been this entire season. So, thank you so much, man. I'll always jump at the opportunity to talk about the Seahawks. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man.
100%. Thank you, Sam, for coming on. G'day, Steelers Nation. Check him out if you can. Wobblin Jaw Sports, when he does call the Cowboys in Vegas versus the Newcastle Knights. It's a fantastic call. It's like it is on radio. It's so much fun. He's so animated. So thank you, Sam, for coming on to G'day Steelers Nation. And also, what do you guys have? Or you guys, what's your slogan? We have Here We Go Steelers. What do you guys say?
Nothing. No, I don't have a slogan. No, I don't have anything. I have nothing for you, mate. Just howdy and adios.
Go Hawks. Go Hawks. Thank you,
Go
Steeler
for
Nation.
today. Go Hawks.
Thank
Go
you, Steeler
Steelers.
Nation. We'll see you later. That's